What's up, slow riders? Are you interested in getting your three-wheel motorcycle license? For a lot of people, knowing what to expect can really reduce that level of anxiety. I just took the three-wheel basic rider course a week ago. So today I'm going to give you an overview of the Motorcycle Safety Foundation's three-wheel basic rider course. I've found 3 states in the US that don't require you to have a motorcycle license to operate a three-wheel motorcycle: California, Nevada, and Rhode Island. Now, if you want to know how to ride one safely, the three-wheel basic rider course is probably still a pretty good idea. The three-wheel basic rider course consists of these main areas. You will have skill-based practice sessions, usually in a parking lot, followed by a skills-based test, usually in the same parking lot. You could have a brief classroom instruction, or what seems to be more likely these days is that you'll get an online eCourse. And finally, a written knowledge test. So once you successfully complete all those areas, your instructor will typically give you a certificate that you can then take to your local DMV, and they will add a motorcycle endorsement if you already have a license, or they'll give you a motorcycle license. In most states, the three-wheel knowledge test will contain the same content that's on the two-wheel test. So if you think there are things that don't apply to you on that test or in the eCourse, you need to pay attention. And everything in your eCourse will give you whatever you need to pass that written test. The course instructor will most likely administer that test in a classroom environment. And at least in Maryland, where I took the test, it's 25 questions, and in order to pass, you need to answer at least 21 questions correctly. And the questions are all multiple choice. So if you study the eCourse closely, you should have no problem with the test. The skill-based practice sessions and the skill-based test are usually done in a parking lot. It will be marked off with lines painted on it and have some cones that get moved around depending on the exercise. The number of practice sessions, I think, varies depending on what state you're in and what the requirements are. But you're generally going to have exercises that cover these basic areas. Basic operation of the vehicle, starting and stopping quickly, weaving around cones, swerving around obstacles, navigating a curve. Sometimes they may have U-turns or figure eights, and turning from a stop. You'll usually spend about a full day practicing those kind of exercises, and then at the end of practice, the instructor will administer a test. And a skills-based test is usually going to be a combination of different practice exercises that you've already done and are familiar with. For example, they may have you enter a corner, accelerate out of the corner to about 15 miles an hour, and then swerve around an obstacle and come to a quick stop. And like the written test, these skill-based tests can definitely vary depending on your state. The skill-based test is really not difficult for most people. If you're able to successfully get through all the practice sessions, then pretty much guaranteed you're going to pass the test. So you just need to be able to get the gist of those practice sessions, and you don't need to be anywhere close to an expert. The last thing I want to mention is on this basic rider course, you probably won't even go over 20 miles an hour. That makes it easy for most people, but it doesn't really prepare people for going at road speeds, and certainly not at interstate speeds. So Mrs. Slow Rider got her motorcycle license earlier this week, and she's now come out to this parking lot to practice getting up speeds a little more than what we did in the basic rider course. If you have an opportunity like this, I definitely recommend it. And try to gradually push yourself a little bit outside of your comfort zone each time. Not too much, but just enough to make steady progress. So that pretty much covers the basics of that three-wheel basic rider course. It's not too difficult for most people. If you're thinking about it, just jump in, get it done. It's fun if nothing else. Thanks for watching, and ride safe.